Today we're going to be going over my top 10 winter designer fragrances for 2023 heading into 2024. Around this time of year, every year, like clockwork, I try to get this video out. I try to get it out a little bit before winter officially starts in terms of the calendar definition of the season of winter. For a lot of you guys right now, it might feel like actual winter right now. At least it does around here. It's still going to get much colder. We've been seeing some, mid to upper 30s here as the highs, which isn't all that bad compared to what's about to come. But definitely that time where I'm going to start busting into some of my winter scents and maybe kind of putting away some of my lighter duty fall scents. And so maybe this gives you a chance to go ahead and pick some of these up for yourself before you get into the thick of it and it's super cold and everything's frozen over like out of nowhere. So I'd mentioned this a little while ago. This video has been in the works for a while. Whenever it comes to these videos, it gets harder and harder each year because I'm balancing some of my OG, like classic favorites that I've been wearing consistently for years. And I'm also trying to see where some of my new favorites work into the list as well. So again, it's not easy putting these videos together. What it comes down to at the end of the day is me kind of shuffling things around. I'll tell you this. For me, this is a very strong list. So what might be down at the bottom of the list at number 10, 9, and 8, they're still really, really good. And as we get up into, the top 5, top 3, they're just splitting hairs essentially at that point. So take the numbered order here with a little bit of a grain of salt. These things can move around a little bit. The core idea behind this list is just some of my favorite winter scents. No matter where they place, I love them. They're great, and I think you guys will like them as well. So I'll drop some links to these down below to discounters for you, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's get things kicked off with the one, Royal Night by Dolce & Gabbana. Luminous Night is really good. The original EDP is top-notch, amazing, but I really do love this creamier, warmer, and kind of richer version of the one. Really focusing a lot on the sandalwood here, still getting the amber, still getting some cardamom spice. It still is that DNA, just without the tobacco, which is interesting, but it makes it a little bit more smooth here. Takes off some of the harsh edges. Again, it kind of promotes a little bit more of a silky and creamy smell. The sandalwood here is no joke, it's the star of the show. It smells amazing up in the air. Smells even better on skin, so definitely make sure you give this one plenty of time to dry down, and it smells amazing. Definitely the type of thing that I look forward to wearing as soon as it starts getting really cold outside. This is one of those scents that provides a little bit of a comfort feeling. It's something that puts you in a better mood when you look around outside and everything is just, kind of dark and gloomy and it gets dark at 4 o'clock. This is something that cheers you up a little bit. At number 9, we have Paco Rabanne Pure XS, the original. I love Pure XS Night, but I like this one a lot as well. And really, they're kind of two different tools for different jobs, essentially. XS Night is going to be a little bit more daring, and it is heavier, stronger. But Pure XS, the original, is still really good as well. It's got sugar, it's got liqueur. There are some kind of aromatic, kind of balsam notes in here. And then some other sweet notes going on as well, like a vanilla and tonka and all of that stuff. There's actually a little bit of a slight bubbly nature to this one off the opening, which makes it very interesting. But then it dries down into something a bit sweeter and less kind of fresh off the top, like you might be convinced to think that it's fresher leaning. It's not. It goes much sweeter in the dry down, but it does open up with a different style. This is one that I was kind of on the fence about when I first tried it years back, but over time I've grown to really love and appreciate this one a lot more. From Paco Rabanne, a brand that's easy to hate on a lot of their releases because they are kind of cookie cutter and very mainstream. I think this one stands out in a good way and does something at least a little bit different. It's a lot more interesting than a lot of their other releases. Great stuff, works amazing in the wintertime, and I've been looking forward to wearing this one a lot, and I can't wait to continue to wear this one as it continues to cool off. At number 8, we have Armani Stronger With You Amber. So this is their current newest flanker, and this is a part of their exclusive line. So Stronger With You Oud, leather, all of that stuff, and then there's amber as well. So no surprise, it's got amber, has vanilla, has lavender. That's all they give you. And that's the gist of it. Of course, you're still getting the tonka bean in here, which is prominent in all of the other ones. Also, you know, when you spray it, do you get a little bit of that chestnut accord? Yeah, a little bit. It's not as prominent as in like the original and Absolutely and things like that, but it's there a little bit, kind of feeding into that gourmand nature. But it simply is focusing a lot heavier on the amber. It's not animalic, okay? It's not super strong. It's not like a sticky and syrupy type of amber either. It's actually kind of a lighter variety of an amber accord here. So that still gives it a ton of usability. You can wear this for pretty much any situation in the wintertime. I think all things considered, this is a great release from them. It's one where when you can get it in stock for a pretty reasonable price up around the $100 range, it's worth grabbing, especially if you are a fan of the Stronger With You lineup. At number 7, we have Azzaro Wanted by Night. This one needs no introduction. I mean, it's been talked about a ton at this point, you know. It's probably their most successful flanker, you know, and it makes sense to me. I think it's great. I love it. It's got tobacco. It has fruity notes. There's cinnamon in here as well. So it's kind of another one of those interesting combinations. It's fruity, and then it's very sweet, and then it's spicy. And the type of fruity kind of component that this one gives off, it makes it seem like it would be more of like a summery fresh scent, you know, the type of notes that they're using there to kind of bring that up. But then you get everything else going on. The warm spices, the tobacco, and the cinnamon. It's like, okay, yeah, actually this is not a summer scent. Definitely more fall and winter leaning. And it makes sense because Azzaro Wanted is more spring and kind of summery, very sweet as well, and not everybody's first choice for summertime. But a lot of the guys who, you know, don't take it as seriously as we do would wear Azzaro Wanted in the summer, you know. Everyday guy just going into the department store and picking something up, he'll wear that all year round. And so it does have the ability to kind of do a little bit of everything any time of the year. But Wanted by Night definitely hones in on the cooler seasons for sure. Or even for a summer evening kind of date night as well. But again, for me, fall and winter time is where it's at. I tend to really kind of dive in a lot more in winter, or at least winter temperatures, because around here we only get fall temperatures for a good month or so, you know, if we're lucky, and then it just goes straight to winter. So the bulk majority of my experience when wearing this one is usually when it's below freezing. At number 6, we have Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum, another fantastic work of art from Dior. So you guys are all familiar with the Fahrenheit DNA. Think of that, but with a little bit of rum and some suede. That's it, giving it a sweetness and a little bit of a leathery feel. So it's already masculine, you know, and that was established from the original Fahrenheit DNA. You know, that violet, kind of woody, slightly earthy undertone that it gives off. It does have a masculine and powerful, strong, confident smell. A lot of people say it smells like gasoline, and it's a pretty decent descriptor there for the original. So this is just basing off of that and then just adding some sweetness. And to me, this one is considerably more interesting and unique and complex. And out of the in-production Fahrenheit fragrances, this is the best and my favorite, at least for me. And so because of the nature of this one, again, we're talking fall and winter time here, but because of the same thing I just said about Wanted by Night, the way things go around here in terms of weather, bulk majority of me wearing this one is in winter temperatures. And so because of that, I've really come to start craving this one as soon as it starts to get a bit cold outside. Might seem a little bit low in this list, and again, guys, these were all getting moved around and shuffled around until eventually I said, okay, I'm done messing with it. Time to shoot the video and get it out there because I need to stop tampering with it. So, you know, this could have been up a bit higher, which would have meant I would have had to knock some other ones lower. I didn't want to do a bunch of ties. So again, this whole list to me is about as refined as I could possibly get it at this current moment in time, you know, and so no matter what spot these are placing in, they are amazing. And that's kind of a good segue into our top 5. And again, just go watch that part again when I'm saying it's tough to number these off and to rank them in this way. But this top 5 especially is like filled with heavy hitters that personally I just can't be without. You know, if I were to build my collection up again and it was in wintertime, I'm going and I'm getting these first. Starting off at number 5, we have La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. Yes, it's one of those ones that's a little bit hard to get. And normally I don't do this, but these seasonal list videos are more personal because not only am I putting out their recommendations for you, I'm also, being upfront about what I look forward to wear and what I do wear consistently year over year. And this one has worked its way into that crowd. I'll tell you this right now as well. If you want to get a bottle of La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique because you've heard the hype, get on my mailing list and texting list at the link and number down below. It's completely free to sign up. Anytime something rare, discontinued, and hard to find, just like this one, comes into stock, I send out an email and a text allowing you first dibs to grab it before everybody else does and before it gets sold out. So anything rare that you could think of, this Armani Code Absolu and Profumo and all of those things like that, I'm on the hunt for. They pop up often. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. So jump on there, and if you do, you'll have no problem scoring a bottle of this because they pop up more often than you think. This is La Nuit de l'Homme, but brought back to life. I've been fortunate enough to own, again, several different bottles of La Nuit de l'Homme dating all the way back to the first launch edition, the 4-digit batch code, like first formulation. Back when La Nuit de l'Homme was getting all the hype, it was based around that particular formulation. When it was at its peak, it was the richest and strongest. I've gone from that all the way to brand new bottles, which do have a considerable difference in terms of the overall depth and complexity and richness of the scent. I'll tell you, if you can't get Bleu Electrique and you still want La Nuit de l'Homme, you can still get the, what's on discounters right now, the new La Nuit de l'Homme, and it's still going to smell beautiful. It's not going to be worth it for most people to go out there and hunt down the old stuff. You're going to be overpaying. You could be getting scammed. You could be getting fakes. You could be getting rotten, expired, poorly taken care of bottles. It's not worth it. Get a bottle of Bleu Electrique, and if you can't, just go for modern La Nuit de l'Homme, and it's still going to be a masterpiece. But I digress. Bleu Electrique kind of goes back to some of the older school style, just that heavy cardamom richness. Again, truly a special scent. And for me, it's nostalgic. For me, La Nuit de l'Homme is one of my favorites. And so kind of having this in a newer form that still goes back to that older style is very valuable. I love wearing this one in wintertime. It smells phenomenal. I can't be without this stuff. At number 4, we have Shanci Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé. I don't know, I was saying this in a video a little while back that this guy was going to be popping up in my winter list, and here it is. It was in last year's winter list as well, okay? It's just kind of how it is. It's one that's highly anticipated for me. It's one where as soon as the weather hasn't even turned yet, but it's getting to the point where it's going to start thinking about turning, getting a little bit colder, I have this on my mind. I'm talking like September when it's still warm, but the days are getting shorter and it's kind of like, okay, yeah, summer's winding down now, which means cold is coming up. That sucks, but then I get to wear some of my favorite winter scents, and this one always comes to mind. So you guys know the breakdown on this one by now. It's the Gentleman EDP DNA with the addition of whiskey and chestnut. It's gourmand, it's boozy, it's richer, it's heavier. It is currently the most intense and refined version of this scent DNA. When this one pops up on discounters for around $100-ish, it's an easy purchase. At full retail, still an easy purchase. I always recommend, of course, getting it on discounters when you can. And this is another one that falls into that kind of rare category in terms of below discounter price, to where I do notify people when this one comes up because you just don't see it in discounters very often. It's not discontinued, okay? It just came out. You can still get it at retailers, but it's not something that you can just go buy on FragranceNet right now. It pops up from time to time. You just have to be on the alert. And because it's in high demand, it sells quick, which is why I send out notifications for it. So just jump on there if you want to have a chance of grabbing this one below retail. I do recommend picking it up at some point, full price or not. Get your hands on this one when your budget allows for it because it is amazing. Top 3, again, it just keeps getting more and more challenging. This one here I think deserves an award for being one of the longest running like high ranking fragrances to place in these winter videos over a consistent period of time. I would have to go back and look. I know it made it in last year's video. I'm sure it made it in 2021's video. I really do need to go back and look. Or maybe one of you guys can go watch some of my old ones back and comment down below how many years in a row this one has been making it. I think it's been like probably 5 years or so. Spice Bomb Extreme by Viktor and Rolf. At number 3. So again, still ranking very strong. I've had this for a long time and I still love everything about it. It's got tobacco, it has vanilla, it has black pepper, Spice Bomb DNA, but all grown up and significantly better. If the original Spice Bomb is just too, spice bomby for you, for lack of a better term, it's kind of like 1 million at this point, or the original Le Male, or even for that matter, Sauvage EDT. It's just like kind of worn out, some people may feel. And I love the original Spice Bomb still. I love how it smells, but there are better options, and this is the better option. It's just one of the best designer level tobacco scents on the market for men that you can buy. Price wise, 90 ml, around $107 right now. Sometimes you can get it for around $100 even, but that's fewer and far between. If you can ever grab a tester of this, I recommend it highly. These don't have caps, and I don't know for sure if the testers still come with the pole thing, so that would be something that I don't know the answer to. It might, but I don't know. I don't want to say for sure, but regardless of that, testers, if you can get them, for a good price as well, go that direction. At number 2, another one that's very special. This one is one that years ago I was seeing hyped up, just being talked about in such a high regard, and I was like, yeah, I really want to try that. And fully going into it, I did not think I was going to like it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to blind buy this. At the time the prices were not outrageous, and so I went for it. I got it in fully expecting to be kind of let down, to be honest with you. And immediately I was like, wow, I am so impressed with myself that I like this, because for me, that was a special moment where it's like, wow, my nose is developed to where I could smell something like this for the first time and really like it. So that's pretty cool. It is Dior Homme Parfum. So, there was a time where this one wasn't the price that it was, and it wasn't as exclusive here in North America. I don't know what's happened since then, but that's how it is now. $180 is what this one's going for. Granted, now it comes in 100 ml, not the 75 like this. This is my first bottle. So you're getting a bit more, capacity, but it's still, niche price. This is one of those exceptions where, yes, it's going for a high price, but I will back that 100%. It's expensive. It's niche price. You could buy Parfums de Marly for that. You could buy, Amouage for that. You could buy a couple 2-3 Manceras for that price, right? On and on and on. You can get Xerjoff for that. Fine, that's fine. If you were to take this scent DNA and bottle it into any of those niche bottles and put it out there, it would still do amazingly well, because it's the DNA and the smell that counts, regardless if it's still from a designer brand. Look at Tom Ford and their private blends and their regular signature line as well, kind of going up in this price range, right? People don't bat an eye. So I try not to beat this one up on price too much. Yes, it's expensive now more than ever, but it still is a work of art. It's got iris, it has leather, oud, and rose. It's a beauty of a scent. Think Dior Homme Intense, but just to the very extreme, turned all the way up. You can't get it any more powerful and complex than this. Love it. Winter is the time for it. You can wear it in fall, sure, no problem. When spring comes around, you can still squeeze it in here and there. Summer is something where I wouldn't really go near this one all that often. But winter is it, especially if you live somewhere where it gets cold, it gets below freezing. You get negative temperature wind chill, This is one of the few that will hold up and still crush those agonizingly cold temperatures. This stuff is savage. Last up, we have Lal Elixir. Wow, at number 1, right? A brand new release at number 1. It's crazy, I know. Well deserved, and I don't regret it. I am not second guessing this decision at all. This is one that held pretty firm. Got shuffled around a couple spots there, but ultimately I'm like, you know what? I think this one deserves it. It's impressive stuff. Truly it is. Especially from, JPG and from the Le Male line, which, again, some people might say is getting worn out at this point. I think they have been doing some great things with these past few releases. Le Male Le Parfum and this one are some seriously impressive pieces of work. And this one has a little bit of Le Male Le Parfum. It has a little bit of the OG Le Male, just like, you know, you would expect it to. But then it has some tobacco and honey. Kind of going back to the tobacco here, I love that note and scent. And tobacco honey is a combination that has been done for years and years at this point, and it works so well. This is by far the most luxurious, rich, and elegant versions of Le Male. You could tell also that they know that too because of the presentation. This is by far the best presentation in the line. You get an over-dramatized little pole loop guy right there. The bottle has this gold-plated, not real gold, obviously, but this gold look plated texture to it. You can see the level in between these lines here. Premium presentation all the way around. It's a true parfum, not a Le Parfum EDP Intense, okay? Actual parfum. It's strong, it has great quality, it smells amazing. It stands out from the rest a little bit to make it a bit more unique. It is a very, very good release. This is another one where discounters, good luck. It's not there yet. I mean, it does show up, but it's not consistently in stock on discounters yet. So your options are retail or to wait for it to pop up. Again, I notify about this one all the time and it pops up often, so jump on and you'll get you some. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. My top 10 winter designer fragrances video for 2023 heading into, you know, early 2024. Links will be down below and all the rare ones will be popping up over on my mailing and texting list momentarily, right? Jump on there. They'll be popping up at some point within the next few weeks or something along those lines, most likely. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.